So many people have been giving
Oh, they really? Yeah, right. Right. We got it great. You're a fan now, I thought I told them that they had probably stopped.
And I didn't say no, I couldn't play.
That should be enough. I'll give you the spoon. Okay. It worked out pretty good. Sorry.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Stand up. Stand up. Andrew, you want to get this to you? Everybody stand up for a moment. Really good. And come forward now. Looking right here. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Yeah. Come on, guys. Look at the drill.
Good morning, everyone. We are so grateful to welcome to Hillcrest today in this remarkable multi-generational celebration of Black History Month. We recognize each of you as VIPs and influential leaders in our community. We honor each of you and your contributions to the cause of improving racial equality and understanding as individuals committed to a higher vision of what our world can and needs to be. In this way, we also recognize each of you as friends and fellow laborers in this very important cause. I would like to now introduce Matthew Neely, President and CEO of Hillcrest.
Thank you, Morgan. Good morning. This is an exciting day. This is a historic day. In the city of Laverne, this is part of our Black History today. And we're so pleased to have so many of you who value and want to be a part of this celebration with us, and especially these students behind me who are really teaching us so much today. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The art exhibit is entitled Our African American Influence. I love that. I love that title. These students have taught us all that we can all connect to Black history because we have all been influenced by Black, African, or even Canadian Americans, right, Morgan? Okay. She's a Black Canadian American, so we have to just put that in there. We celebrate today as fellow citizens, but also as people who want to see something improve in our world. We're celebrating two events today, and I just want to be brief, and I want to share, and then I'll do some very important introductions of people who are with us today. One, and the most important thing we're celebrating is right behind me on the podium. But along with that, this has become an intergenerational celebration of Black history. And I think it's the first one I've ever heard of. When George Floyd died, when he was taken, when he was killed, I had a resident of our community call me and say she was very concerned. She felt like she had been transported to the 1960s and that she was reliving things that she lived in the past that she had hoped to forget. She was concerned that George Floyd could have been her son or her nephew or other loved ones. And she shared that grief and sorrow with me. She had a great impact on me in that moment. Her words caused me to reflect on the experience that I've never had. As the president of CEO, I issued a public statement on behalf of the organization, boldly and unapologetically standing against racism and inviting the community to join with Hillcrest in standing for peace and justice, not through violence, but through unity and through action. Well, you need to know that the residents of Hillcrest got that statement and they came to a board meeting and said, it is not robust enough. I thought, really? Yes, it needs to be more robust. And then a lesson of leadership. My role in that moment was to step aside, and let the enthusiasm that was swelling grow, and to nurture it. Rather than to claim that flame, my role was to fan it. My role as a CEO is not to be the voice of Black America, but to use my role to allow that voice to be heard. So that is what began. And this resident group created a policy that touched the board of directors of Hillcrest, that created activities and programming and accountability for the organization. And now our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, that is the result of this effort, reports to the board. And I would like for those members of that Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee who are with us today to please stand or wave so that people know who you are. Thank you so much. These are the movers and the shakers, and they are the ones who are planning these events. Along with that, we have this gallery that was established to help residents and artists connect and to bring art to our community. Well, we have one resident who has overtaken the gallery at Hillcrest and has used it as a force for good, and that's Barbara Smythe. I'd like you to stand. She's instrumental. All of us, everybody is instrumental in paving one brick in the road that we're on. We're grateful for each of you and your contributions. So as part of that, we have Kevin Tharp, who is probably the best art teacher I've ever met. Aside from being an awesome artist, he is an incredible leader and impactful teacher. And he is so excited to help these students grow. So with that brief introduction, we may say just a little bit more about that. You're going to hear from each of the students and from Kevin in this program. I would like to acknowledge that each of you here today are VIPs. You may not feel like a VIP, but the fact that you're here supporting a program and a cause makes you a VIP, because you can also share your voice and facilitate the voices of others like we are doing today. Officially, we have elected officials with us. We have Tim Hepburn, who is the mayor of Laverne. Behind me, he's going to say a few words in a minute. We have Wendy Lau, who's a member of the city council.
Live stream.
We are pleased to have the
live
city of
streaming.
Pomona represented by John Nolte, who is a city council member. And we have representing Congress, the U.S. Congress, Congressional woman Norma Torres. We have Stefan, let me make sure I get this right. Stefan, did I get that? Okay. Jacobo Martinez. Thank you so much for being with us today. Representing State Senator Anthony Portantino, we have Marco Lundgren. There he is, Marco. Thank you for being with us. And representing Assemblymember Chris Holden, we have Matt Lyons with us. Matt, thank you for being with us. I sure hope I haven't missed any of the elected officials. We do have with us many leaders in the community and representing multiple organizations. We have Angelique Butler, African American Parent Advisory Council. We have Elizabeth Zamora, who represents Bright Prospect, who has served 2,500 students to get into college. Thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us today. I would say not just students, but Pomona and Montclair students, PSWD. She's an incredible leader in our community. Dr. Jennifer Brown from Cal Poly. We're so grateful to have you. We have Professor Troy Mills from Claremont McKenna, who teaches African American religions. And thank you so much. We are pleased, Tommy Morrow from the Daily Bulletin and a local pastor, Jeanette Royston from NAACP in Pomona. We have Mr. Carol Wheatley, who's joining us, who's a leader and an attorney and influential and a community activist. Representing the NAACP from the San Gabriel Valley, we have Irma Cooper, Madeline Farrell, Marilee Wortham, Nehemiah Miller, and Richard Nichols. We're so pleased to have you with us today. I didn't see Jerry Wortham, but if you're here, Jerry, we welcome you too. We have M. Joyce Baker-Smith, who is she's the district governor for the Optimists. We welcome you today. And Rhonda Miles Brown is the Pomona Alliance of Black school educators. We have Roberta A. Perlman, who's from PSWD, PUSD, Board of Administration is with us. Thank you so much for being here, representing the school board. And we have Kristana Wax-Harper, Dr. Kristana Wax-Harper, who will speak to us in just a few minutes, who is the Assistant Superintendent at PUSD. And we have many staff members, administrators, and principals, and teachers, and students of PUSD. And I would you just all stand and be acknowledged as a group? Could you just, all the students, all the teachers, just be acknowledged? Thank you so much. Thank you. In the museum, in the welcome room, you might see in a glass case a display by the African American Museum of Beginnings. That is the work of Khalif and Victoria Rashan, and their daughter Danielle is with us. Danielle, thank you so much for joining us today. We have Hillcrest residents, board members, associates, past and present with us today. Would you just raise your hand? I think there are probably lots of people here just to shake. Okay. Alexandra Burrell, Chief Diversity Officer from University of Laverne. and I can't do everybody's personal name, and please forgive me, but each one of you are VIPs, and we sincerely thank you for joining us today. So what we'd like to do now is hear just a few brief words from our mayor, who is with us today, which is Tim Hepburn, after which we'll hear brief remarks from Shirley Turner, followed by Thomas Allison. So Tim Hepburn, Mayor Hepburn, Shirley Turner, and Thomas Allison.
I'm pretty impressed this morning. This is amazing. Your artwork is incredible. So just so you guys know, and you've got great teachers that have taught you this, but it's that burning desire inside that goes from your hands to your eyes to what you print on or what you paint on. So you guys did a great job. Yes, please. Matthew told me I had to be very brief, so here it is. As a city, Laverne, we are a very cultural, diverse neighborhood. We just celebrated at our council meeting on Monday, Black History Month with a proclamation. Mr. Allison received it for the CASA group with my partner, Wendy Lau, Councilmember Lau's on that also. And Hillcrest being such a diverse community also. We're very proud of our community. We're very proud of what we do. We can always do better, and that's what we're striving for. So it's just amazing to see this Black History Month, to be able to celebrate this with all educators, teachers, and all the staff at Hillcrest, Matthew, Neely. We really appreciate it, and we love being a part of this community, and anything we can do to help, we're always here. On behalf of my city, my council, thank you all for being here, and students, you rock. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's amazing to be here and amazing to see all the faces. It's an amazing time, isn't it? Things are changing. So even though I'm facing this way, I'm really talking to all of you. So please listen, okay? In my first memory as a child, I knew I was different, but I didn't know why. I didn't know if it was the color of my skin or actually if I was Japanese. I really didn't know. Or maybe it was just I was a funny looking kid that was a little odd. But what I find is that all of the above are true. As I grow and become an adult, I realize that we have more similarities than differences. So if I can share 3 things with you that I heard Oprah Winfrey say as she addressed the graduates at Spelman College in 2012, I could say this: know who you are. Like all of us, we're children of our higher spirit. Use your art as a form of service. It's a platform for you to tell your stories and tell the stories of others. And always, always do the right thing. As I lead with my heart first, and I remember to keep the door open behind me. And today I have the privilege to serve on the DEI, which is Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity Committee at Hillcrest, and on a larger scale at Leading Age, the state of California. So I too am finding my own voice as you find yours. Thank you.
Good morning. I have the privilege of serving on the board here at Hillcrest. There are two things that I think this exhibit represents. What are you telling me? Oh, I thought you were telling me to put my mask back on. Like, no, I'm just kidding. This exhibit represents two things to me that I think are important in the Black community. First, the intergenerational construct. We often say that we stand on the shoulders of giants, and in the Black community, we take high regard and keep our ancestors in high regard. And so I think we all cross-generationally play a role in the society that we are looking to build and the history that we are continuing to create. I say that our ancestors guide our dreams, our elders guide our vision, our contemporaries guide our efforts, and our youth, as you can see today, guide our imagination and our passions. The second construct that I think is represented through this art exhibit is our community construct. We often say it takes a village. Well, Hillcrest is building itself as a village. And so I'll end with this African proverb, which is Ubuntu. And it says, I am because we are, and we are because you are. And so we all play a role in the community that we are developing, and I'm proud to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thomas, Shirley, and Mayor Tim. We're thankful for your words today. I'd like to turn the time now over to Dr. Christina Walks Harper, who's Assistant Superintendent for Pomona Unified School District, and invite her to sit up here on the stand and not down there. And then would you please introduce Kevin at the end of your remarks? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to share my time with my boss, our board president, Dr. Roberta Perlman. If you would come and join me, please. She's not only our board president, she is a fierce art critic and supporter, and we are so thankful to have her here, Dr. Perlman.
Thank you so much. You are always, I never like to follow you when you speak. You are the most wonderful speaker ever. But, you know, thank you so much for this incredible support. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to see, I haven't seen all the art yet, but I can't wait. So this is such an opportunity. Thank you to all our teachers, our principals, everyone that's here today from PUSD. We have this incredibly close family that support our children and also our community members. So thank you so much for just giving our students this opportunity and for everyone coming together just for this support. It's incredible. So I thank you so much. And Dr. Walks Harper, you're the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Perlman. Just a few quick words. I want to recognize our team. We have our Assistant Superintendent for Ed Services, Mrs. Lillian Fuentes is here. Our Director of Secondary Education, Ms. Monica Principi is here. Our Teacher Specialist for the Arts, Ms. Vicki Tessier is here. We recognize Dr. Butler previously, Director on Assignment, District Administrator on Assignment, and our Ganesha Principal, Mr. Joe Bijoni. Thank you so much for being here. Just want to say briefly, you know, everyone turns around and says something about you. Young people, everything that we do in Pomona Unified School District is all about you. It's all about you. We're here for you. And we have this special opportunity to recognize your brilliance. It's very, you know, you're a good artist when you do art referencing another person and without anyone reading what you have written about the artist, we can look and see who it is. You're really good. Your interpretations of actual characters is always a challenge, and you've done an amazing job of that. The piece that also speaks to me is your writing. Your writing about your subject is incredible.
And it goes to good teaching, Mr. Tharp, that you combine disciplines to create excellence. So thank you, young people, for who you are, for what you do, and we are here to celebrate you. So thank you. I'm going to leave you with one piece before I say something about Mr. Tharp. We had our Black History celebration last night, and we had several presenters, and many of them were former PUSD students who had achieved excellence in law and in other fields. And one of the things that, and I have to read it because I want to make sure when you quote someone else, you want to get it right. And one of our speakers shared that the goal is to become bigger than where you are and to be greater than what you see. So that is your challenge, bigger, greater. You are at the precipice, you are at the beginning. So thank you so much for who you are, for what you do. Thank you to your families. We know you didn't get here by osmosis. You came from families, parents who supported you, who championed your cause throughout. So thank you to your families as well. And we look forward to more great things. Thank you so much. Mr. Tharp, sir, teaching is a calling. It is not a way to get rich. It is a calling. We're working on it. We're doing our best at the district office, but it is a calling. And your heart is displayed in the excellence of your students. For your love of subject is greatly displayed in their products. And so we thank you. We celebrate you. You make us Pomona proud. You make us Ganesha proud. And so to you, sir, the microphone. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Tharp, as you've heard. I'm an artist and teacher responsible for the artwork featured today. On behalf of Hillcrest staff and the Ganesha High School family, I'd like to welcome you all to our African American Influence cultural art exhibit here at Hillcrest. Both my students and I are extremely excited about the opportunity provided to us by Hillcrest, and particularly Mr. Matthew Neely. Without Matthew's enthusiasm and love for all things diverse, we would not be here right now. It was the opportunity he provided me that in turn allowed me to provide the opportunity for these advanced Ganesha High artists featured here today. The exhibit is titled Our African American Influence for a Reason. As Americans, we are blessed with the opportunity to be influenced by many cultures. Whether we realize it or not, these influences, both positive and negative, affect our lives and how we choose to live them. I believe it is important for Americans to acknowledge these influences in order to help break down the walls that separate us and hopefully create a more productive and accepting nation that can learn to work together for the good of the country. For this exhibit, both my students and I asked ourselves which African Americans have influenced our lives in a positive manner. I then asked them to create portraits and writing focused on the individual, but more importantly, they were asked, how does this individual play a role in my everyday life? It's the connection of the individual to their everyday lives that I want them to focus on. My goal is to have them expand on that connection, to have them understand that it will lead to the building of respect for African American culture. It's hard to build hate and disrespect for something that you're connected to or influenced by. As an African American raised in Claremont, I can unfortunately say I've experienced the negative influence of whites in Laverne. It was then that I relied on the positive influence of other whites in both Laverne and other communities to overcome these negative influences, which prevented them from changing my outlook toward the white people I would encounter afterwards. Even this event today, positively, will add to the other good experiences I've had in Laverne, and subsequently, it will replace a negative experience I've had there as well. This is why I believe we should all take moments to acknowledge the positive cultural influences in our lives. Maybe then respect of those different than ourselves can be built. Our exhibit is obviously focused on African American influences, but hopefully its influence will encourage others to share for their influences of all cultures in their lives as well. We hope you enjoy our brief step into our lives and the African Americans who've influenced us and help us reach this beautiful gallery on such a wonderful day for Hillcrest, for Ganesha, and for the cities of Laverne and Pomona. I can't pass the mic without thanking some very incredible people who helped make this exhibit happen. My mom, I mean, I'm not trying to die up here. Without my mom moving here, I would have never met Matthew. We wouldn't even be here right now, okay? And of course, Matthew, again, your incredible support and generosity, it can't be measured. It can't be measured. Ms. Smythe, thank you for your guidance and for your help with the writing components. It's just incredible, your amount of time you have to help. Max, thank you for helping hang the student work in the gallery. Vicky Tessier, Monica Piscove, thanks for your constant support and for all things arts and USD. Our principal, Mr. Bigioni, thanks for your support and belief in our art program. To Richard Martinez, thanks again. He's always promoting and helping us with the arts and PUSD. To my students, thank you for trusting me, okay? Putting up with me, which my own kids will tell you, like, oh my God, you know? But most of all, I could also thank my family. Without them, I can't be me. I can't have the energy, or if they're the ones I do everything for. So my wife, Kristen, and these two twins here. Thanks to everyone, all of you. I know everyone had busy schedules today, or you know, if you're retired, you missed like your third nap. But you know, but thank you for everybody for taking the time to share with us and with these incredible students. Okay, thank you very much.
We'll go, Kevin, stay just a minute longer. So what Kevin just spoke about was impact. And I think as a teacher, we're able to connect with the US Congresswoman Norma Torres's office, the Assembly member and the Senator, both Holden and Portantino, who provided certificates of recognition for each of these students. The city of Laverne, because this is being held in Laverne, also provided those. And Hillcrest has its own. And Kevin has received them and each of the students. And I just want to share the Hillcrest Award that we're giving. We're pleased to present this Cultural Impact Award to Kevin Tharp for artistic excellence and achievement, and for the creative use of art to improve our community and build unity. So on behalf of all of us, Kevin, you and your class, we thank you and offer this Cultural Impact Award. This is for the, I don't know what. Thank you. So now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. We want to hear from the students. We're here for you. So we're going to start all the way on the very end with Marissa. And please share us your name, who you drew, and why.
Hello everyone, my name is Marissa Angeles, and I drew Aretha Franklin, and I drew her because of how we share the same issues. Well, when she was 14, she went on a influence on music because of her father and joined his chorus and his church. This made me realize, but although she had to suffer the death of her mother, and this isolated her from the world. But although the influence that her father gave her with music made me realize that although all of you who are suffering in the darkness Remember that there will always be someone or something in your life that will be the light in your life. But although I chose Aretha Franklin as my African American influencer, I have other influencers in my life around the world, and everyone here should have one around the world. They are influencers in our lives, and they can help us influence others and help everyone influence each other. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you everyone who set this up and everyone who came here, especially Mr. Tharp, thank you. Obviously, I'm Jacob Cáceres, and I chose to draw Lenny Kravitz. And well, when I was thinking, who should I draw? Like, I was thinking, who would impacted me or influenced me the most throughout my life, or who do I admire the most? And like, I was also thinking, oh my God, is this really happening? Am I really doing this? But after a while, I chose to draw Lenny Kravitz, and I drew him because how influential and inspiring he was to me. One of the major reasons was he influenced my taste in music, really. He also gave me another way to relate to my father because he was the one who introduced me to him and music in the first place. And what's really amazing to me is how even when he was young, Lenny Kravitz and his parents, they endured many racial remarks because his parents were a biracial couple, but he still endured and even managed to become a famous rock star in the end. And yeah, thank you. That's why I chose to draw Lenny Kravitz.
Morning, everyone. My name is Omar Cuevas, and I am a senior at Ganesha High School. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Tharp for teaching me something I didn't know I could do. When I first joined art, it was during my freshman year, and he would show us examples of what to draw, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to draw this. And once he started teaching me and the kids all around the class, I got better and used to it. Then I stopped taking art for 2 years, and now I'm a senior. I joined back in the beginning of the school year, and when he told us we were going to do a portrait, I got scared, but I haven't drawn in 2 years. So I would like to thank Mr. Tharp for the opportunity to help me do something I couldn't do. And the person who I drew was Michael Jordan. The reason why I drew Michael Jordan was because he is a person that influences a lot of people around the world with the game of basketball and other sports. He is a multiple MVP and multiple Olympic gold medalist. He is most already the best, greatest of all time, athlete of all time. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelina Douglas. When I first heard of this wonderful opportunity, I was beyond stoked. I was glad to show the influence of African American culture in my life and who it made me become. This project is a way to show and continue to show how we accept our differences and tell those who refuse to change and continue to be microaggressive that we will push forward and we will show the world that we are united. When I first heard of this opportunity, Aaliyah came to mind, which is who I drew. She was an incredible person who died young, which was sad, but sorry. She impacted my life in a very wonderful way because she made me closer to my mom, who I don't get to see that much anymore. But she influenced me through her style because she was always able to stay true to herself, which is something I want to do. She was taken advantage of at a very young age. She was married to a 27-year-old man when she was 15, who, well, they both say it didn't happen. His abuse to her was brought up into his trial with witnesses, and it was very dark. But I want to bring light to this because I want to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else, because not many people get to rise to fame the way she did after going through these terrible experiences.
Good morning, everyone. My name is, yeah, you can see that, Samantha Espinoza. The person I chose for this art project is Paul D. Hudson. He's mostly known as HR, the lead singer of the hardcore punk band Bad Brains. Bad Brains is a punk / reggae band who didn't really sing about what you'd expect a punk band to sing about, but sang about the positive things in life. They were also the first Black hardcore bands. My art teacher, Mr. Tharp, showed me more of Bad Brains a few months ago and told me about some of their influences on other bands. I really enjoy listening to, like the Guns N' Roses, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Fugazi. I was watching a documentary about HR shortly after and found his interesting background powerful. I thought it was great how they talked about mental illness, because mental health is really one of the most tragic issues in the world there is, and what a lot of people struggle with. Seeing what HR went through was really heartbreaking, and I wonder why no one helped him sooner. In one of the interviews he did, HR was asked where Bad Brains played their first gig, which was in New York, and he said, "People are expecting us to be a white band, but we're all black guys, and people were wondering, like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on?" Later, he mentioned that people didn't really care that they were black because their music was just so good. I thought it was nice that he said that it was mainly teenagers that supported them. To me, his influence on music and people is really profound. I find the band's music pretty good from what I've listened to. I listened to one of their self-titled albums, and one of the songs in it, called Attitude, was about having PMA, which means having a positive mental attitude. And I really enjoyed that song and what it means to have that. That song about having PMA impacts me to try and have a positive mindset every day, because we all go through our struggles in life. Just having a positive mental attitude is good for everyone. I had heard them once before, but after learning more about him, I felt like he would be the perfect person to draw for the project. Hello everyone, I am Catherine Figueroa, also known as Melissa Borja. Today is the best day of my life. I always dream about having this kind of show and standing here in front of you. The person that you see with my name under it is Rihanna. She always encouraged me to be an incredible person, the woman that I am. I had 3 songs from her that I love the most. Those songs makes me feel heavenly. I am the kind of person that needs to express the way I feel with music or art. That's why I love music. The first song is called Love Song. This song expresses the way I felt when I started to love myself. The exact words, "I need love and affection," said everything I want to say to people when I was down. The second song is Diamonds. This song is the one that I used the most when I was learning English when I was younger. The third song is Princess of China. When I heard this song, I fell in love with the lyrics and the rhythm. It's just so magical for me, it makes me feel nostalgic. After I heard the song, it encouraged me to start making my own art. And sorry. I can create my own art. So hearing her music brings me beautiful childhood memories from when I used to live in El Salvador. Since I know her, every time I look at her, she always makes me think, wow, I want to be just like her. Her songs always put me in a good mood. Her song, Ponder Replay, is my favorite. Every time I hear this song, it makes me remember the days when me and my sister, Yesenia Borja, used to sing her songs. It makes me remember that I had a beautiful childhood with my sister. When my art teacher, Mr. Tharp, talked to us about the show and about picking someone that influences in life, Rihanna came to my mind. I knew the exact moment when I started drawing her. I knew that I made the right choice choosing her. I am so glad that I know her. I am so glad that I know her music. I am so glad that I drew her. I am proud of myself for being here as I read this in front of you guys. My dream of being here started with a TV show called Art Attack. At the end of every episode, Rio Torres always said, you don't need to be an expert to be a great artist. No necesitas ser un experto para ser un gran artista. Those were Rio Torres' words. Like Rihanna, those words can influence me to be a great artist. Remember Rihanna's word, shine bright like a diamond. When you aren't feeling your best and need a positive influence. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Miguel Flores, and I'm one of Mr. Advanced Art students, and I'm grateful to be here to be able to talk about my work with you. The person that I chose was Daniel Dumoulet, better known as MF Doom. The reason that I chose MF Doom was because his work and the way it impacted me was unlike any artist. Many artists nowadays, like Tyler, the Creator, Childish Gambino, and others, were impacted by MF Doom, since the way that he rapped and his creativity was unlike any other, so nobody else was doing it like him. Fortunately, he passed away around 2 years ago, so I thought it'd be appropriate to do a piece on him as a way of honoring him, and also just showing someone whose work I deeply connected with.
Hello, my name is Si Kung Fu, and I am the artist that drew Juice WRLD. The reason I drew him was because of my past. In my freshman year, I was failing some of my classes, especially my biology class. I found that out when my parents saw my report card and told me I was failing. I think I got yelled at and I was crying. I was very sad that I disappointed my parents, and I think that's how my music taste changed. Juice WRLD's songs helped me by surrounding me with a sad environment. With his songs, it was also a new experience for me because I have never listened to sad rap before. A song that I really like about that was by him was All Girls Are the Same. This is because the song reflected a heartbreak, what a heartbreak can do to someone. If I can really help someone if I've gone through what they experienced through. That's all I have to say, and thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Hernandez. I'm an aspiring artist and student of THARP from Ganesha High School. I just wanted to thank you so much for having us today and allowing us to show up what we have to offer. To start, for my portrait drawing, I decided to draw Nina Simone. I just found out about her through a song I really enjoyed named Feeling Good. Though I feel like I wasn't doing her justice by only liking her for her music, I decided to look more into her past and achievements she had accomplished. Let me tell you, I was in awe. Her accomplishments included her involvement in the civil rights movement, in which she used her music and voice to bring awareness to a situation, as well as letting protesters use her song, Mississippi Goddamn, as their anthem while they protested. I truly admire her work, even if I've only seen a fraction of it. The way she impacted me in my everyday life comes from her ability to never give up on her dreams to play her music for people. She went to such great lengths to make it to the top. That's what I aspire to be able to do, to keep going with my art talent and make something out of it, even if it takes a while. That is all for me. Thank you so much once again. And I wanted to thank my family for supporting my passion in art, and Tharp for continuing to support me. Have a good rest of your day.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the Hillcrest Gallery staff for providing my school and myself the opportunity to share our artwork with everyone in here, and also to give us a space to publicly share our thoughts on cultural diversity. So for my portrait, I choose Gordon Parks because I admire his work as an artist and his contribution to activist movements. Let me tell you a little bit more about him. So he's a musician, writer, and film director, but what really drove me to him is his work as a photographer. He's a person that really gets into his work. He's not just the typical photographer who just takes a picture and that's it. He really gets involved in the life of the subject and really transmits like messages and feelings through it. So from searching more into his work, I have learned that everything is possible and that we should not fear the reality that we live in a world with racism, injustices, and also with poverty. So Gordon Park is a real role model who has done a lot of outstanding projects and deserves to be admired and displayed in a gallery for the world to see and from the public to learn from his life. My intention with this was to show that race, ethnicity, or color does not dictate the value we have as a person, and also to make society be more open to investigating African Americans and also other people from different backgrounds and learn from their life. I am deeply honored to be here today sharing my experience making a portrait, but above all, being able to contribute to the fight for equality and express my respect and admiration for the African American community. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dahlia and I do business marketing. I'm glad I was a part of this experience. I was really nervous thinking my drawing wouldn't come out good enough. The reason I drew Biz Markie is because he influenced me and many other people to do what they've always wanted to do. One way he influenced my life was his saying, "I don't care about anything but what I want to do." You can't be worrying about what else is happening out there. You have to be true to yourself. Although you may wonder why or how this impacts my life, well, you can guess why. But if you don't, my life has been impacted by this because if you know what goes on in my head, I go based off people's opinions. And if they are happy with what I have, I don't see whatever I have done as an achievement. But it has influenced me It has influenced me a lot over the years, and I don't do it as much anymore. I try focusing more on what I want than what others want me to do. While drawing Biz Markie, I had many doubts, but in the end, if nobody liked it, I still felt proud of myself for getting through it and doing well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Janelle Martinez. I'm extremely happy to be here. I also feel blessed to have this opportunity, especially since I got to draw one of my favorite people in history, which in this case was Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges was just a little girl going to school that was segregated. However, when she did pass an entrance exam to go to an all-white school, understandably, her parents were torn on what they should do. Ruby arrived at her school every day, not once missing a day because she didn't want to go, with racial slurs and death threats aimed her way. I'm a very shy person, when I go to somewhere new, whether it's a new school or not, I like to have people I know with me to feel comfortable in a new place. If I were going through what Ruby did on my way to school, I'd refuse to go out of fear. The thing that sticks out to me the most is how she always was so kind, so persevered, and how she stayed brave throughout her entire life. There are not that many people who stay kind after being treated horribly. She inspires me every day to stay compassionate to others because there isn't enough kindness out there in the world. What makes it worse is there are some adults who teach young minds to hate others without realizing it. This causes people to do unjust actions towards anyone that is different color or race. Hate can really bring someone's confidence down, and discrimination happens to anyone at any age. Ruby Bridges really opened my eyes to see that underneath our skin, everyone's the same, but it's our actions that show who we are, who we truly are, and makes us stand out in the public. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Santiago Palacios. The person I drew was Bill Withers, and the reason I did was because I wanted to thank him for the impact he had on my life. The first time I was exposed to his music was during a drive to Las Vegas with my dad, and he put on his playlist. He mainly played rock, and so for the first time I heard soul, and I was really confused. But I'm glad I was exposed to his music because it helped me grow up. I always get that nostalgic feeling listening to his music, and that feeling, it can be comforting. And getting reminded of those happy memories of your past it's the greatest feeling. And speaking about the past, growing up, I was very antisocial. I'm still shy, but his music helped me grow up in the sense that I needed to be social and that I couldn't just be shy and not talk to anyone at all. His music has helped me develop because now I'm more brave and courageous, and for that I wanted to thank him. And thank you everybody for having us here. It's an honor.
Hello, everybody. My name is Octavio Ramos, and I'm an art student in Ganesha High School. I have always drawn since a young age as a hobby, never took it seriously. But since drawing in Ganesha, Mr. Tharp has made me realize that I could draw many things I never thought I could, which is why I drew Tyler the Creator as the artist I thought that he inspired me. He inspired me because his style and everything he does is different from many other rappers. He's done many things other rappers wouldn't do since it would cause some controversy, and they were all scared to do what he did. That way he taught me that I should just be different and not try to be like everyone else. Thank you.
My name is Lillian Tennant, and I first wanted to thank Mr. Tharp because I was really scared to do this art project, and he always inspired me and motivated me to keep going and actually go through with it and do a good job on it. And I'm really thankful for him because yeah, he's just a really good person, and he helped me a lot with this art project, especially. And yeah, he just inspires me a lot when it comes to art. And I decided to draw Marian Anderson because of her influence on me and how much she's just a great person in general. When I first heard her style caught my attention, and how successful she is motivates me to do good like her. When I first started discovering different types of musicians and heard Marian Anderson's performance at the White House, it made me feel like I could be like her, since she did something unthinkable and was able to do the things and achieve the things she wanted after learning of her many performances at different places and obstacles she had to overcome to get to the point of becoming successful. I became inspired to be as ambitious and carefree as she once was. Thanks to her, she made me realize to keep going and always work for the things that truly make me happy.
Hello, my name is Jose Vargas, and I'm a Ganesha High School senior. I'd like to express my gratitude to Mr. Tar for teaching me something I didn't realize I was capable of. I was especially pleased with myself of the work that I've done. Mrs. Darf showed me examples and accomplishments that he had made and inspired me to become more interested in art and to devote more time and effort. He did teach me the steps to success, and I was proud of what I could draw as a result. The king of pop music, the king of all kings, Michael Jackson is my subject influence. I picked Michael Jackson because he was my #1 favorite, and he inspired me to dance when I was younger. I won a talent show, and it was embarrassing to rewatch my dance going back. I had a CD, and I played that CD like 50 times. It did get annoying sometimes, but I still loved listening to it. Michael Jackson changed the music industry forever. His singing, incredible dancing, singing, and fashion was unique. He demolished what the stereotypical performance was meant to be, breaking barriers that people didn't even know were up. Michael Jackson was the definition of greatness. He made millions by giving to millions. He was a world changer and a people changer. He was one of the greatest performers of all time, a legend who left an enduring legacy and a shining example of a human success. Thank you.
Thank you, students. Let's give them a round of applause. Well done. That was incredible work. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Remember this. Remember this. Thank you. So in closing, I have an invitation, and we'll close with this invitation, and that is, could you not notice that each of these individuals, young individuals, have been influenced by people, have really touched their lives, have changed their lives. I wonder, do those people know it? No. So if you're African American, I need you to know you have touched people. And they watch, and they learn, and they are influenced by you. And if you're not African American, this is what I've learned this Black History Month because of these students, is that there are people in our lives who have made it better. And we all have individuals who have touched us, who are African American, who have blessed us, who have expanded our view. We would do well to remember them and, if possible, reach out and tell them. I think of Mr. Pierce in 4th grade, the first Black man I ever really knew. He taught me about the civil rights struggles. He taught me as a 9-year-old words that I should never say. And I will tell you, I have kept my promise to Mr. Pierce from since I was 9 years old. And he has changed the way I think and live and behave. And I think we need a little bit more of that among all of us. Gratitude and trust that we are having an influence. Thank you so much for joining us today. May you have a blessed rest of the month until we meet again next year. We are going to take a large group picture. If any of you would like to be a part of it, we'd like all the students to stand. And we'd like anybody who would like to be a part of this group picture, just come and stand in the front. Okay, anybody want in? Come on in. We'd love all of you to be in this picture. Join us. Do you want to go up on the stand with your class? You don't have to. You guys can go. You want? Okay. Okay, we have to come on in. So let's put the taller people in the back. Front and center, Mrs. Carr. You guys, this way. Okay, anybody else want in? I want in. If you get COVID, it's not Hillcrest's fault. Thank you, everybody.